In the right live. Am I in the right live? I'm in the right live. I felt like I was in the wrong live. My lights are all crazy, like. All right. Hello. So there's some. Why can't I see? Like, eyeglasses wrong. Okay. Let's go to. Well, let me say hello. Where's the live chat? Live streaming. Okay. So, hello, Tony. I haven't seen you in a while. Tony, how are you? Hello, Whisper to Me. Mike, the greatest show on earth. It was fun last night, right? With that, I said I wish another scammer would call me. Farm Wife, Mike, Tony, Whisper, Kevin Leonard, Historic Publishing, hello. And Elise K, I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. Kathy, Liza Ward. So let's talk about Gabby's mother's kind of fed up with the notebook confession. Hi, Sherry Shirley. And she took to Twitter today to vent by posting this, which I'll put up here. She put up this, and it says, narcissists rewrite history to escape accountability. You are not crazy. And she said, fed up. And then she put hashtag narcissist, hashtag the truth will be revealed, hashtag selfish, hashtag we won't stop, hashtag justice for Gabby, hashtag keep going, hashtag cowards. So, yeah. Let's see if there's... Let's see what the comments are on that post. Okay. Do you know what? I have to tell you. You already have people here. This one says, going after Brian's parents is not justice when they had nothing to do with the death of Gabby. This is only a witch hunt of which the attorney still gets paid no matter what. And then someone says, the suit isn't about them being involved in Gabby's death. Keep this disrespectful, ignorant-ish out of her grieving parents' comments. FSS, what is wrong with you? And then someone said, he said in diary, I put her out of her misery like he was putting down a dog. I believe this choice of words indicates he likely actually did say that to her, maybe as he was strangling her. He was just done with relationship. He couldn't control her rising status on Instagram. Someone said, I don't understand why law enforcement just let all this go and right back into the hands of those people. It just sounds so corrupt, but no surprise. This is the exact basis of reasons victims end up giving up on the system and end up like Gabby and too many others. Another said, oh, so you have met the Laundries? Another said, we all knew dirty laundry fam equals narcissistic notebook story equals BS. And dirty Roberta knew more than she claimed. Minus Cassie, she didn't know. She'd be only one to do right. I smell perjury case. Get him, Mama Bear. The entire world stands behind you. Hugs. And then someone says, I can only imagine what you're all going through, and I'm so deeply sorry for you all. My heart aches for you, and the world must see justice for Gabby. She was a beautiful young lady and will be remembered by us all. Much love and prayers to you all. Someone said, and this tweet is from Jennifer Coffindaffer. That's the FBI agent, the ex-retired FBI agent. Sometimes she appears on News Nation, etc. She says, you are so strong. In prayer, your lawsuit will be tried. Hashtag justice for Gabby. Good going, Jennifer. And then another one, so sorry, Nicole, you're doing good. The truth will come out. My prayers are with you daily. Another one, being that I lost my daughter 3 years ago, I can certainly feel every moment of your pain. Try to stay strong and fight those evil people. Another one says, my heart absolutely hurts for you and your family. You have every right to be angry and frustrated. Our current justice system has failed. So many victims of domestic abuse and sex trafficking. This needs to change, and it needs to start immediately. Another one says, they absolutely do, but no matter what he wrote, countless of us will never believe him. My prayers are with you. I saw you in court. You had on a teal bracelet. Did it say justice for Gabby? I don't blame you. What I've seen of his confession indicates a complete fabrication of reality. It must make you furious to see this obvious attempt to seek sympathy after the fact for himself and his parents. It's like killing her twice. I'm furious for you all. Another one says, so incredibly sorry for your loss and the entire families. It's so sad and upsetting for everything that you all have gone through and continue to go through. Another one says, exactly what I thought. His story makes no sense. It just looks like he's trying to cover up for himself and his family, and shows in the end he still would not take responsibility for his actions. Instead, he tried to rewrite history, praying for you and your family. And then another person posts some really nice pictures of rainbows. I think it's over the Teton National Park, that one, and it said, don't worry, Gabby's spirit shines. Another one says, don't worry, Nicole, the world's got your family's back. We all know the truth, and you and your family will get justice for Gabby. Sending love to you. Be strong. Another one says, have faith. I know from personal experience, abusers love to create drama triangles, casting themselves in the role of a rescuer one moment and victim the next. There are many on your side. Many will remember your Gabby. Few will give a thought to him. Another one says, if his parents didn't know anything, why would he write? This is a shock to them as well as a terrible grief. In his confession, before he explains what happened later in the letter, the shock and grief wasn't over finding him dead. It was over Gabby. So what did they know? Another one says, exactly what I said when discussing it. I hope it's decided, the trial moves forward. Hashtag justice for Gabby. So thankful you are bringing awareness to narcissism. Lived it for 28 years in my marriage, but a Christian psychiatrist helped me escape the hell of a marriage I was living in. I didn't know what a narcissist was, but I have learned, and no one deserves that life. Hearts for Gabby. When the cops stopped them in Moab, Brian didn't have a mark on his face. He got out, walked around the front of the van before walking back to join the cops, and suddenly he has marks, which is why he was given the title of the abuse victim. He injured himself. Well, that's not exactly true. She had some marks too. She said he hit her, but they didn't handle it correctly. Amen, sister. Justice for Gabby. May your beautiful Gabrielle Gabby rest in peace. Your family is in my thoughts and prayers. I can't even fathom what you're going through, as I have a daughter in her 20s. Absolutely heart-wrenching. Okay. Well, for me, I don't buy Brian's story, as maybe if they were climbing a mountain in the snow, that could have happened that way he explained. He would have been better off just admitting he did it and just apologized, not that long, ludicrous story that he came up with. Standing with you and your family, may there be some justice with answers that come your way. The lack of accountability from the other family is horrendous and cruel. One day at a time. Breathe. Be gentle with yourself. Sending you and your loved ones love and peace. Another one says, it reads as totally fake. No attempt to even appear spontaneously written or genuine. That scenario is beyond irrational. Clearly a desperate attempt to feign innocence in case of capture. Someone's remains were found in the swamp, but were they really his? Yes, they were. I'm sorry, Gabby may not be here, but we haven't forgotten her. She deserved a life and children around. Big air hugs. Another one said, I'm sorry, it made me sick. I just have to say, I do not believe any of it. I do believe 100% they staged his death. I pray you all get some kind of justice for Gabby. Shame on you, dirty laundries. God bless you, Nicole and family, and thank you for helping. Stay strong. Another says, I lost my mom a little over a year ago, and you lost your daughter. We are probably more close in age, though, and I feel truly a fraction of your pain, as I feel losing a child must be a bit harder. Hashtag justice for Gabby. Another one said, I am so sorry for your loss and for the hell you are having to go through. I am hopeful that the autopsy will reveal if in fact he was telling the truth or not about any injury she sustained while crossing the creek. Wouldn't have to match up with his statements? ? Abusers usually blame the victim. Don't let them take any more from you, sweet lady. You got this, and your precious daughter is right there with you, sending you love and light. Praying for all of you that your case moves forward. If the Laundries and Bertolino had nothing to hide, they would step up and tell the truth of what happened. They had so much time to cover it up. God bless you and your family. We are standing with you and your family through this still. Just trying to see it. I drink milk. Okay. We always will. The Laundries need to be held accountable and laws changed so this can never happen again. Justice for Gabby. Another one says, I could have imagined his scenario maybe a tiny bit had they been stuck in Mount Everest death zone, but they weren't. Fact is, Brian Laundrie was a narcissist up to the very end, and Bertolino releasing those pages was a crappy move. Stay strong, sending positive vibes your way. Another one says, no, liar. Amber Heard, did a lot of damage to actual victims of domestic violence. And yes, men can be victims too, which happened in JD's case. One doesn't even need to know the dynamics of a domestic violence relationship to see through that one. Also, this post is not about but it is. Please remember that Gabby and y'all are still changing the world in so many ways. Evil will never be able to change that. Prayers for you all. Another one says, there were 4 words of truth in his diatribe. I ended her life. He should have stopped writing after that. Know that we are all with you as this goes forward. Exactly. No one believes what he wrote. It doesn't make any sense. Another one says, we all see through the BS. We see the truth through the lies and fairy tales he wove with Roberta's help. We know what he did. Forensics proved it. We all support you and pray for you. Another one said, this story has always killed me, but it's 100 times worse now. We feel your pain, Nicole. He has beyond twisted. Gabby and you all need some form of justice, and it's coming. Prayers of strength to you always. Justice will prevail. We all know. We've all known from the moment the public was made aware of sweet Gabby was missing. Your amazing family can prove it. Keep going. We all have your back. Love and strength. Another one says, Gabby's mom, Nicole, and family, keep on going. Gabby is guiding you. You will get justice for Gabby. Another one says, I'm so sorry what you're currently going through. You may not get more of an outcome than you stuck with your integrity. We cannot control the other person's words, actions, only our own. I know it's difficult, but in the end, you have to live with yourself. Follow your truth. Another one says, I don't blame you, Nicole. The system wasn't rigged right so that your Gabby could have justice. I continue to hold all of you near and dear to my heart. I can't imagine what you're going through. Another one says, I'm sorry for what you're all going through. Someone needs to be held accountable for Gabby's life. Someone says a lot about this person that he couldn't even tell the truth in a confession letter. Another one says, you're 100% right. Sending my love and strength to all of you, prayers that you will get justice. Another one says, you are not crazy. We love and support you. You got this. # justice for Gabby. I have experienced this and I'm so sorry you had to. I agree with you 100%. His attempt to make himself look like a selfless hero while ending your daughter's life is mind-boggling and even more horrible. I have a feeling the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Sending love to your family. # justice for Gabby. Praying for you to get the answers and accountability from the Laundries. We are standing with you 100%. Sending lots of love and hugs and prayers. Nobody believes this monster. God bless your precious Gabby. Okay, so it goes, let me just go over here for 1 second. Do one thing here that I have to do here. Let's do this. 1 sec. I forgot to put this out here. Okay. And what I'm going to do here. Okay, so yeah, I mean, unbelievable. And I don't know why they couldn't have gotten the other things. Let's see what else we can find out from. Okay, put that there and hold on. Come on. Okay. So. Okay, sorry, I had to add something that I forgot to put in, but let me go back to the. Okay. So he in the notebook wrote, "I ended her life. I thought it was merciful that it is what she wanted, but I see now all the mistakes I made. I panicked. I was in shock." From the moment I decided, took away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her. Please do not make life harder for my family. They lost a son and a daughter. The most wonderful girl in the world. Gabby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my family. This is a shock to them as well as a terrible grief. And that notebook was found in January at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, along with several other items that belonged to Brian Laundrie. And remember, they went to the FBI in Tampa and exchanged things, both attorneys, Pat Riley for the Petito family and Stephen Bertolino. And that's when there was that other letter, that was written by Roberta Laundrie that Pat Riley is saying that he wants and to be preserved, along with either one or two other confessions, one that was taken from an electronic device, and the letter that apparently was taken from the van, brought into the house, that kind of stuff. So, let's see what else we have here. So, and we're still waiting on that decision from Judge Hunter W. Carroll. From last week was that hearing to see if this case is going to move forward, if it's going to go to a jury trial. And the judge has around 2 weeks to make that decision. So we'll see. And as of the other letters coming forward this week, maybe they will. But, Gabby's mother is fed up with it. And let me see if her father has anything to say about this. Okay, let me just try this. See if he says anything about what's going on. He retweeted Nicole's tweet. And if the Gabby Petito Foundation awarded their first scholarship on May 13th. Yeah, and okay, so he retweeted Nicole's. Statement. All right, let me go to the other headlines here, making news. If I can get there. TikTok star Mama's Tot son gunned down in Alabama. What's that about? The son of an Alabama TikTok star was gunned down Friday night in a shooting at a Pritchard gas station just a day before his 19th birthday. Philia Nichols, who posts on TikTok as ShoeLover99, is known to her 7 million followers as Mama Tot. She posted a tearful video announcing her son, Randon Lee, died and was pleading for information. She said, ShoeLover99, you will be found. You will reap what you sow in this world. You may not be caught now, but it's coming. I hope you see my son's face every day of your life. Today would have been my baby child's 19th birthday, but he was took from me last night. Took from my children and my husband and our family, she said in a heartfelt video. My son was murdered. He was shot. Pritchard police confirmed the shooting and said it was still under investigation. They provided no further information, but Nichols said in her video that police have at least 2 potential leads. She said that Lee was shot at a gas station, but drove to another gas station where he was found dead in his car. I ain't never asked y'all for anything, she said, but I need your help with this. There's almost 7 million people that follow me. Somebody's got to know something. Lee was the youngest of Nichols' 4 children. So, Mama Tot. That's sad. Where's for them? Let's see if we can find something. If they found any other information. Okay, here's a little more information. It says that the slain teen son of Alabama TikTok star Mama Tot was selling weed when he was killed, police say. The son was selling weed when he was shot and killed in Mobile County. Randon Lee, 18 years old, died Friday after one of the suspects shot him inside his vehicle as he pulled up to a gas station on St. Stephen's Road in Pritchard, Detective Jason Hadaway said. Nichols is known as Mama Tot on TikTok, where she posts under the moniker ShoeLover99 and has more than 7 million followers. Lee was killed just before his 19th birthday. He and the suspects pulled up in their vehicles at the gas station Friday night when one of the suspects entered Lee's vehicle and shot him. The suspect then got into their vehicle and fled with the other suspects as a wounded Lee drove to another gas station. Paramedics were called and Lee was treated at the scene where he was pronounced dead. We do know at this time Mr. Lee had made his way down to Wilmer and was selling narcotics to these 2 individuals. Officers found marijuana at the scene. Hardaway said police do have a couple of suspects in mind, but are not releasing any information on them. The detective said that one of the suspects had bought drugs from Lee before, but the incident was the first time police became aware that Lee was selling drugs in Pritchard. On Facebook, Nichols posted a message that included a photo of her son. Someone else made the decision to end my son's life. They are walking around in my town, living and breathing, while my son is not. While me and my family are grieving a loss that no mother should ever have to feel, they are free. Let's see here. So, that's terrible.
Honey, what about tomorrow? Okay.
Okay. Sheriff's deputies chased a suspect who took 2 women hostage through 3 Florida counties on Saturday night, and it ended in a crash and a shootout that left the suspect dead. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office identified the suspect as 42-year-old Curtis Kimbrough, who they said had a lengthy felony record and had been recently released from prison after serving 5 years on a gun and drug charge. Brevard officials say the incident began for them when the Indian River County Sheriff's Office contacted them about 8 p.m. saying that they were pursuing a suspect with a possible hostage from Osceola County in which the victim had been shot. Brevard deputies joined deputies from Osceola and Indian River, as well as the Sebastian Police Department. Several times, authorities said the suspect fired at the Indian River County deputies. Let's see. Vehicle finally crashed and became disabled in a field in Grant, Florida, and a woman escaped from the vehicle. She ran to the deputies. She was the victim who had been shot in the initial report, but Kimbrough had a second kidnapping victim, and they exited the vehicle with Kimbrough holding a gun to her head as they slipped into the wooded area. Aviation units kept track of the suspect and his victim until officers caught up with them. Deputies and officers engaged in a brief exchange of gunfire with the suspect, who was fatally wounded. Officers rescued the woman, and both victims were taken into the hospital for treatment. One was a 33-year-old woman, the one that Kimbrough was using as a hostage as he was trying to flee, while the other one was a 41-year-old woman, and she was shot in the initial incident, and she is in serious condition in the hospital. The other one was treated and released. No law enforcement members were injured. Investigators did not release names of the victims. There was a trial that started today, and we're going to go over that, and we're going to go over the case in a minute. I was listening to it, and we're going to talk about it. So a $40,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever kidnapped and murdered a 10-year-old Washington State girl. 13 years ago, on June 26, 2009, a little girl named Lindsay Baum vanished without a trace from her small town of McCleary. Investigators believe she was abducted while walking home from a friend's house just a few blocks away. Hunters in 2017 found a piece of Lindsay's skull in a deeply wooded area, but the rest of her body has yet to be located. Now the girl's mother, Melissa Baum, carries her daughter's only known remains as ashes inside a pendant necklace. I want to know where the rest of my daughter is. Priority number 1, Melissa Baum said. All I got back of her was a piece of her skull, and this is it, right here. This is my daughter. Baum said she can't stand to look at photographs of the girl anymore because it's too painful. I rarely stop and look directly at them because it's still hard. It's looking at that face that gets me. Investigators have identified several people of interest, including a man who was recently convicted of R-ing a teen in the town 6 years before Lindsay went missing. Police have assigned new investigators to the case. They're working with the state and federal law enforcement. We don't know what happened to her, but we know she ended up deceased. Anybody who would do that to a 10-year-old girl is beyond what you and I can comprehend. It's not normal. Investigator Darren Wallace told the news station. Wallace said he believes this case can be cracked. I do think it's solvable. Absolutely. My gut, it's just somebody knows something, and someone feeling comfortable enough to say it. That is what I know. Baum said she finds meaning in working to find justice for her daughter and will not relent until those responsible are held accountable. My daughter deserves to rest in peace. She was a bright, beautiful 10-year-old girl. She was a 10-year-old girl. There's no reason for anybody to take her other than sick, vile things. If I don't do it, who's going to get justice for Lindsay? Who's going to make sure her 10 years on this earth count for something? I'm literally the only one she has. To report information about the case, call 360-964-1799 or email baumtips@graysharbor.us. Okay, now we're going to look at the Rude trial, okay? Okay, let me just get a picture of this. Hold on a minute. This is a little bit involved, this story. Okay, this is the woman on trial, Rebecca Rude, okay? And she's on trial for the murder of Savannah Leckie. So let's read a little bit about this case, because it's adoption, a birth mom. So a 39-year-old Missouri woman, she got charged with murder when she was 39 in 2017. I'm going to go back a little bit, okay? When the charred remains of her missing biological daughter were found. Rebecca Rude of Ozark County, Missouri, was charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, abuse, or neglect of a child resulting in death, tampering with physical evidence in a case, and abandoning a corpse without notifying authorities in connection with the death of 16-year-old Savannah Leckie of Minnesota. So let's see if we can get the, I'm going to try to pull up the probable cause statement, and, but, let me get this, hold on. Okay. Okay, so in the probable cause statement, it's report that Rebecca reported a fire on July 18th on the property where she and her now husband live in Theodosia. That's a village of about 250 people near Missouri's southern border with Arkansas. She told the fire officials she was burned trying to save the girl from the fire, but refused to let them talk to Savannah. 2 days later, Rude reported that Savannah had gone missing. Investigators said she later gave differing accounts of how she was injured, but claimed that Savannah ran away because she blamed herself for starting the fire. Several searches of the property turned up human teeth, a meat grinder, a knife, 26 bottles of lye, which can be used to accelerate the breakdown of bodily tissue. Human bone fragments were found in a field about 400 yards from the home on August 4th, and during that search, Rude and her husband left the farm and got married. Why do you think they got married, right? It's the husband and wife, right? About testifying and all that. A forensic analysis identified the remains as Savannah's. Rude was arrested at a Greyhound bus station that Saturday. She had bought a ticket to go to Kansas City, and her husband, who had not been charged, had a ticket to Memphis, Tennessee. Investigators arrested her because she was known to have contacts in several states and is affiliated with groups involving in living off the public grid. Rude told investigators that she put Savannah up for adoption when she was born and that the girl spent most of her life in Minnesota. Affidavits filed in support of search warrants describe Savannah as having high-functioning autism. Savannah's adoptive mother, Tamil Leckie Montague, asked Rude last November to take the teen because Savannah couldn't get along with her fiancé, Carrie Steves. Rude agreed and was given power of attorney, and after the girl moved to Missouri, she was homeschooled and had almost no social contacts. Rude's ex-boyfriend, Buddy Smart, told investigators he had seen her discipline Savannah by forcing her to crawl through a hog pen, making her bathe in a pond. Rood acknowledged that was true and told investigators that when Savannah cut her arm in a suicidal gesture, she forced the girl to scrub the wound daily with alcohol and salt as punishment. Steves told the Minnesota media that Savannah needed a lot of one-on-one focus, and the farm just seemed like a really good place for her at the time. He said that Lecky Montag last spoke to Savannah on June 3rd, which was her 16th birthday, and that there was nothing like big red flags. Her adoptive mother lives in the Minneapolis suburb of Columbia Heights and told authorities that Rood continually complained about how Savannah was acting on the farm and the time and money it took to care for the girl. She said, "Our family is in deep grief and is mourning Savannah as her remains were identified yesterday. This is not the outcome that we were hoping and praying for," she wrote. So that's the situation. Now she's on trial. And let's go see what's happening, because I was listening to a bunch of the firefighter that were testifying today. So let me... So a bench trial began for Rebecca Rood, who was arrested in 2017 for the death of her daughter, Savannah Lecky. She faces several criminal charges. Prosecutors have charged her with first and second-degree murder, abuse or neglect of a child, tampering with physical evidence, and abandonment of a corpse. So Savannah disappeared in Ozark County in July of 2017. When she was first reported missing, her biological mother, Rebecca Rood, told everyone she thought her daughter had run away. Volunteers in the Theodosia area spent several days searching for Savannah. After searching for several weeks, investigators found human remains consisting of bones and teeth in a burn pile on the property. Investigators used dental records and other evidence, and they were able to confirm the remains belonged to Savannah. At birth, Savannah was adopted by a family in Minnesota, but she maintained frequent contact with her biological mother, Rebecca Rood. According to court records, Rebecca was told Savannah could not get along with her adoptive mom's new boyfriend, so she came to live on the farm with Rood. The Missouri Supreme Court has ruled against Rood's fight to suppress a recording entered as evidence. The Greene County Judge, Calvin Holden, will hear the case that will take place in Springfield. Okay, and the attorneys today gave their opening statements. The prosecutor gave background information about Savannah Lecky, including that Rebecca Rood agreed to allow Tamil Lecky Montag and her then husband David to adopt Savannah before she was 2 months old. They went on to say that Savannah was having problems after her adoptive parents divorced. She was diagnosed with ADHD and is on the spectrum. She was then sent from Minnesota to Missouri to live with her birth mom, Rebecca Rood, at the end of 2016. But by the next summer, an argument ensued between the mother and daughter about homework. That was the last time anyone saw Savannah. State attorneys referred to a taped conversation between Rebecca and a public defender in which she admits to burning Savannah's body. The recording was ruled to be admissible by the Missouri State Supreme Court. Defense attorneys say that that Savannah was abused by her mother and that her mother kidnapped Savannah. She got her back and was adopted, That doesn't make any sense. What is the defense? The defense is saying that Rebecca was abused by her mother. Oh, I see. That's the defense. They're saying that, they're going to say Rebecca was an abused woman. She was abused by her mother, and her mother tried to kidnap Savannah. Rebecca gets her back, and Savannah gets adopted by Tamil and David Lecky. She lived a typical life until they divorced. Then She became depressed and suicidal, and her condition deteriorated. She went to Missouri to live with her birth mom, Rebecca Rood, and they alleged that her adoptive mom pushed her out of the home, favoring the fiance that she didn't get along with. And Rebecca, the birth mom, was depending on child support provided by the adoptive mother to care for the child. But she seldom got paid and didn't have the means to get the girl health care. The defense says there's no evidence of how the child died or when. The former Ozark Sheriff Darren Reed was on the stand and recalls being called about Savannah's disappearance. He was in Columbia and immediately left upon being told. The search started in East Theodosia. He talks about how a remote 80-acre farm was searched by the authorities and that Savannah was not found. A few days later, on July 27th, authorities returned and found some remains, but Savannah was still not found. On August 4th, authorities returned again to Rebecca Rood's farm with a search warrant. The property was locked up, and they gained entry to the property with more officers and cadaver dogs. He talked about the dogs' reaction to finding possible human remains. And then we know those remains were tested, and they were positive for being Savannah's. So, let's see what else. And this is being tried after nearly 5 years of delays. Rebecca Rood, her then husband, Robert Pete Jr., charged with first-degree murder, abuse of a child that resulted in death, felony murder, tampering with physical evidence, and abandonment of a corpse in the death of 16-year-old Savannah Leckie. Attorneys, like I said, had their opening statements, and the state believes that Savannah died because they believe that Rebecca drugged Savannah with hydrocodone and then burned her alive. The defendant thought Savannah was dead and brought her body to the burn pile to dispose of the evidence. She wasn't dead. She woke up screaming. After all that was left of Savannah was a bag of bones. Previously, Savannah's cause of death has not been released, only that her body had been burned. And the Assistant Attorney General Anthony Brown outlined a number of witnesses that he would be calling throughout the trial, and they include the Ozark County Sheriff Darren Reed, a number of Ozark County deputies, volunteer firefighters from the area, and a number of inmates from the Taney County Jail, where Rebecca Rood allegedly confessed her crimes. We expect to present 3 separate women who were all housed with the defendant at some point, Brown said. All of these women are not very good people. They're all convicted felons. The state will admit that. He also discussed a recording that Rebecca made confessing to certain aspects of the crime, revealing for the first time that Rebecca Rood admitted on the recording that she burned Savannah's body. You'll hear the defendant herself admit to burning Savannah's body. The recording was previously the subject of much litigation because the defense argued it was privileged. But last November, the Missouri Supreme Court ruled that it was not, and it's admissible into the trial. Now, hold on, I think I just have to see something here. Something. Carolyn, thank you for all you do. Thank you, Tammy. Okay. Now, for the defense, in the defense's opening statement, Yvette Duval said that much of the investigation was not based on actual evidence. And I quote her saying, from the very beginning, this was not a missing persons investigation. It was a death investigation. It was about thoughts and feelings, not evidence. Duval argued that the only thing that Rebecca Rood is guilty of is burning Savannah Leckie's body, stating that, according to Rebecca Rood, Savannah, who had a history of depression, cutting, and had previously attempted suicide, killed herself, and Rebecca burned her body. You're going to hear an admission from Rebecca herself that she burned Savannah's body, but that is all you are going to hear, because that is all that she did. The now former sheriff was the first witness called. Prosecutors focused many of their questions on how the former sheriff found Savannah's burned remains, which were recovered under a pile of logs on Rebecca's property. However, the defense questions focused more on the quality of the police work during the course of the investigation. Duvall asked Reed a number of questions about interviews he did and if they were recorded, quotes he gave to the press during the investigation, as well as how the sheriff's office handled evidence, pointing to photos of deputies holding Savannah's remains without gloves. That was crazy. He says, I was finding teeth and skull parts or whatever, their body parts. And she said, do you have gloves on? Some of the timers, they were handling it without gloves. The defense also questioned Reed on why he shifted the investigation from a missing persons case to a death investigation, and why did he bring in cadaver dogs? And he says, I just knew we were looking for her body. Things weren't adding up. I had a feeling. When the defense pressed him on the feeling, Reed said, I don't know how to explain it. I prayed and it became clear what had happened. Now the trial is expected to run through Wednesday, so this sounds like it's going to be a very quick trial here. Today there were just a lot of other firefighters on. Some of them, I don't know whether, lack of a better word, they had issues. But it was a little difficult to listen to the testimony. So now okay, so here's something else. According to the probable cause statement, Rebecca calls to report the fire on July 18th on the property where she and husband lived in Theodosia, a village of about 250 people. She told fire officials she was burned trying to save Savannah from the fire, but refused to let them talk to Savannah. Then, 2 days later, she reports that Savannah's gone missing. And she said something like she's laying down, she doesn't have any clothes on. There's like this camper thing that she might be in. She later gave differing accounts of how she was injured, but claimed that Savannah ran away because she blamed herself for starting the fire. I had a fire 2 days ago. Savannah's blaming herself for the fire. I got burned. I think that's why... Hold on a minute. I think that's why we can't find her anywhere. Several searches of the property turned up human teeth, a meat grinder, a knife, 26 bottles of lye. Gone through all that. Let's see here. So her adoptive mother, who lives in the Minneapolis suburb of Columbia Heights, told the authorities that Rebecca continually complained about how Savannah was acting up on the farm and the time and money it took to care for her. So she made her like crawl through pig pens and rub again salt and alcohol into wounds. She says that she cut them, she cut herself. She was saying that was a deterrent for her to, that was the way she was thinking that it would be a deterrent if she had to rub salt and alcohol in these wounds. And that would be, great thing. Oh, thank you, Tammy. I like the super sticker. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else. Let me see. So I don't know how many of you are watching this. Right now it is, you can watch it on Law and Crime, I believe Court TV as well. Just trying to go back into sometimes you can get some stuff that okay, so this is Savannah. Let me and then 5 years ago, her adoptive mother released this statement on social media. It said, "Our family is in deep grief and is mourning Savannah as her remains were identified yesterday. This is not the outcome that we were hoping or praying for. Thank you to everyone for your ongoing support. We ask for privacy as we begin to process." Hold on a second. This stupid pop-up thing just came up there. "So we begin to process this enormous loss. We are grateful to the countless hours that the Ozark County Sheriff's Office has dedicated in searching for Savannah. We know their work continues as they investigate her death, and we ask that Savannah is remembered as a beacon of light, and her light will always shine. Tamil Lecky Montag." Okay. And so I don't know how many of you, let me just see how many of you are following the trial. How many are following the trial? How many watched the trial today? Savannah looked like her biological daughter. Well, Savannah is the biological daughter of the woman that I just had up here. Hi, Vicky. Hi, 61. Hi, Kevin Leonard, Danielle C. Hi, Tammy, Mike. Hi, 61. Sean Sneed, Debbie D. Cute Kitty. Nicole Griffith. Dingbat. Hi, Dingbat. It's Bink. Jenny D1. Mel Raz. Mike. Vicky Morosky. Whisper to me. Thank you, Tammy, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. He's very cute, dancing and partying. Okay. So I don't know how many are following, but let's do something here. Okay, so let me pull this up. So here's in August of 2016, when Savannah Lecky was 15, she moved from Minnesota to Missouri. She did that because she was going to live with her birth mother and her adoptive mother, Tamil Lecky Montag, was in a new relationship, okay? And Savannah apparently clashed with the new boyfriend, and it's decided that Savannah is going to go to the farm that her birth mother lives on. Now, even though she was given up for adoption, there was, I guess, like an open adoption where they kept in contact. And though the adoptive mother disputes this, and she says that the family was having so much trouble caring for Savannah that they needed help. It wasn't about the boyfriend. She said Savannah was autistic, had depression, ADHD, and she couldn't deal with it right now. So Savannah was then set to live with her biological mother, Rebecca Rude, who had a farm in rural Missouri, and lived there with her boyfriend at the time, which is Robert Eugene Pete Jr., and he was a firefighter. Rebecca attempted to put Savannah to work on the farm. You know, you're going to earn your keep kind of thing, okay? But she was really frustrated when she felt that Savannah was not acclimating as quickly as possible, and she had trouble carrying out the farm chores and stuff like that. Plus, she was homeschooled by Rebecca, and there are no reports that Rebecca was really adequately working with Savannah's disabilities, and that she was able to get a curriculum for her that supported that. It just didn't look like it, okay? And Rebecca was allegedly severely abusive to Savannah. She used extreme forms of discipline. Now, in criminal complaints, you'll find that Rebecca forced Savannah to roll around in a hog pen and then wade into a muddy pond and dunk under. She also used a water hose on Savannah, and when Savannah, like I said, had cut her arm in a suicidal gesture to punish her and deter her from doing that again, she poured alcohol and salt on the wound twice a day and rubbed it in until the scabs came off. She also took Savannah's cell phone and smashed it and banned her from using Facebook. Also, that was a punishment. And then she admitted that she had her teen daughter remove her pants, and she says she spanked her, okay, with no clothes on. That's all according to the criminal complaint there. She's a teenager. Then she made her live in a cramped 30-foot trailer that was on the property. It was run down. It had no electricity or air conditioning. And she kept contacting the adoptive mother to tell her that Savannah was just a drain, just sucking her dry, costing too much money. She was too much trouble. She was a lot of, she wasn't listening. She wasn't doing anything. Okay, the abuse started to accelerate to the point where it's alleged that she kills Savannah. Authorities don't know exactly how Savannah was killed, okay? But they allege that she was killed around July 18th of 2017, because on July 20th, Rebecca calls the police and says Savannah's missing, and she thinks that she might have run away. Police that, took the reports and everything were kind of suspicious, and they didn't think that Savannah ran away because everything was there, her, even including her toothbrush, her piggy bank, messenger bag, everything was there. And then Rebecca starts a campaign to help find Savannah, and that campaign was started both online and in the community. 2 days before she reported her missing, and this would be July 18th, Rebecca calls the fire department and says, hey, you've got to help me, okay? I have a large brush fire. I need help. It's out of control. Now, the firefighters thought they were coming to a structure fire. It ended up it was a brush fire. When the authorities asked about Savannah, Rebecca said she had been injured in the fire, but she was like flippant, evasive, and she said, no, you can't go down and see her because she's taken a shower and she doesn't have clothes on, and it's some kind of flippant excuse. And Rebecca was also injured and had a burn mark that she was treated for. Rebecca said it was the result of battling the brush fire, but then she told people different versions. Now, shortly after Savannah's reported as a missing person, authorities start searching the 80-acre farm, and they notice that Rebecca Rood is acting strange, which they're watching. It's like, I don't think she ran away. This girl's acting crazy. Forensics revealed that there were large quantities of lye. Now, Rebecca had a homemade soap business, so she made soap. You use lye when you make soap. But investigators are thinking that, given the properties of lye, that perhaps she had been pouring the lye on Savannah's body and that she had tried to burn the body several times. Maybe this is what it's all about. Rebecca, on August 4th, immediately, okay, they're finding the remains, they're identifying. She marries her then live-in boyfriend, who is Robert Eugene Pete. Now that allegedly is because a married couple doesn't have to testify against each other. After that, Rebecca's arrested. She was attempting to flee on a Greyhound bus, and she had a bunch of luggage with her. Now, some type of informant, according to the court documents, says that Rebecca confessed to them. She said that Rebecca said she drugged Savannah, and then she put her body in a fire. She said that Savannah started to wake up, so she hit her with a rake. Now, do we know if the story is true? They don't. Search warrant revealed that there were several long-handled garden tools on the property, including rakes. What farm wouldn't have long-handled garden tools, right? Reports also indicate that Rebecca had a prescription for hydrocodone on the property. Rebecca was charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, abuse or neglect of a child resulting in death, tampering with physical evidence in a case, abandoning a corpse without notifying authorities, and her boyfriend was arrested. He was later released at that time. Rebecca had several patterns of behavior, okay? And she, being that she wasn't around Savannah the whole time she was growing up, she gets the child back at 15. She tried to force her to behave in a certain way, but she didn't research or do anything to understand the autism, the ADHD, her neurodiversity that she had there. So if Savannah didn't act the way Rebecca wanted, Rebecca became violent. And Savannah there is now have been abandoned by her adoptive family. So she's trying to adjust to that and everything that's going on. Now she's being abused by her birth mother. And so she allegedly tries to self-harm herself. And instead of seeing that as a cry for help, her birth mother decides that Okay, well, I'm going to rub salt and alcohol in your wounds twice a day. And anytime it starts to heal or scab, I'm going to break those scabs. And this is what I'm going to do. Plus, Savannah didn't even get to go to a structured school or where they could have even, a school counselor, somebody where she didn't have any contact outside of that farm. And she wasn't allowed to be on any kind of social media. She wasn't allowed to have her phone. Her mother smashed her phone. She didn't have any kind of interaction, okay? So it's just horrible. And her mother is punishing her with making her go in a hog pen, making her walk into a muddy pond to bathe, and just horrible stuff that's going on. A lot of abuse, and then what seemed murder. And it's horrific if this confession is true, that's what she did. Now this is a picture of Savannah with her adoptive mother. She adopted Savannah when Savannah was 2 months old. And after Savannah's remains were identified, she was giving an interview 2 months after that and said, "You start speculating in your head. That's the hardest part. The what ifs are the worst." She said her grief has been augmented by rumors swirling around the case and the threats she's received on social media. When Savannah was born in 2001, her adoptive mother and husband were neighbors of some of Savannah's biological family members. Now, Rebecca Rood was a struggling single mother, and the adoptive mother offered to adopt Savannah. Rebecca Rood eventually agreed to give Savannah up for adoption, but she remained active in Savannah's life. It was a very open adoption. Savannah was diagnosed with ADHD and high-functioning autism, and she required almost constant attention. There were laminated checklists in the family shower to remind Savannah to put shampoo in her hair, to rinse the shampoo out, wash her body with the soap. When Savannah became a teenager, her adoptive mother said that the once bubbly little girl began having behavioral problems and was diagnosed with depression. Now, by that time, her adoptive mother was divorced from Savannah's adoptive father, and she began a new relationship. She began searching for ways to help Savannah, but unable to find an inpatient care facility, she began asking family members if they would be willing to care for Savannah on a trial basis because she just needed help, okay? And that's when Rebecca came forward and said, "Hey, let her come on the farm." Rebecca stepped up at that point, said the adoptive mother. She could see that Savannah really needed some help. And the adoptive mother said that she had regular contact with Savannah while the girl moved to rural Missouri on that farm. It was difficult to be away from her daughter, she said, but the change of scenery appeared to be helping Savannah. Somehow, going and getting this fresh start, it was just great to completely reset her. She was doing so well. But she had no idea that Savannah was suffering abuse that authorities have now described in that probable cause affidavit. Abuse like the alcohol and the salt rolling around in the pig pen and bathing in the muddy pond. And her adoptive mother said that she did not see any signs, no red flags, nothing. She said that her parents visited Savannah in April and offered to bring her back to Minnesota, but Savannah said she wanted to stay there. The adoptive mother said she sent money to Rebecca to pay for Savannah's expenses, but the timing was not always consistent, and she had to wait for her child support check from Savannah's adopted father. Rebecca became more vocal about complaining and saying she needed money, that she was running out of money. This was a drain on her, income. She didn't have the money to take care of Savannah, etc., etc. And then she said, in mid-July, all contact with Rebecca stopped. And her calls and text messages to Rebecca went unreturned until July 20th. And that's when Rebecca called to say, hey, Savannah's missing. And authorities now believe the child was dead when she was reported missing. And the adoptive mother said she panicked when she heard that, and she sent information about her daughter to missing persons organizations across the country. And she said that she wanted to go down to Ozark County, but the sheriff told her, you stay there in Minnesota in case Savannah's traveling there. So the adoptive mother is saying the fact that she did not go to Ozark County has opened her up for criticism for people following the case. They accuse her of not caring about her daughter's disappearance. And 2 weeks later, according to the court documents, the sheriff's office found charred human remains in an area on Rebecca's property where she told them that she was lighting beacon fires, brush fire, to help guide Savannah home. And she was using brush and stuff to make these beacon fires so that Savannah would find her way home. But it just so happened they found human remains there. Okay, now, authorities confirmed that those bones and teeth that they found belonged to Savannah. In the meantime, when they do that, that's when Rebecca and her then boyfriend go off and get themselves married, which you draw your own conclusions to that about married couples testifying against each other, right? What do you think their rush was to get married that day? So the adoptive mother says she has not been able to process the idea that Rebecca could be capable of killing Savannah. And that's something she's been struggling with. And she needed to go to court to look at her. So, because she had to see that, because she just couldn't wrap her head around it. She said that as the adoptive mother in this case being followed, she's been getting threats from strangers on an almost daily basis and has had to keep herself safe. Let's see here. Her goal now is to change the system so that parents of special needs children can have professional advocates that will help them navigate with their challenges, with their healthcare challenges, and connect with resources that are available. I believe that she would want something good to come out of this. So, let me go back to the chat here. Okay, guys, so who's following this trial? Her husband is turning on her. Hi, Debbie D. Okay, for a lesser sentence. Okay, let's go to the husband now. Let's take a look at him, okay? Okay, so here is a 2015 picture of Rebecca and her then boyfriend. It was posted on a Facebook page. Okay. So Pete is offering proffer testimony, which is generally made as a prelude to cooperation when a defendant under investigation or charged with a crime wants to offer information to law enforcement authorities in exchange for some benefit, such as a dropped or reduced charge or agreement for a lower sentence. So there's a recorded device that's in a box of miscellaneous items that Rebecca had given to Pete to put up, and the box was given to him while the couple was married. He reportedly told the officer that the box remained undisturbed until he found it, and sometime in November or December, 2.5 years after Rebecca Rude gave it to him. Pete said he activated the recorder and he listened to at least part of a saved recording on the device, and the recording appeared to be part of a conversation between Rebecca and an attorney or attorney staff member. He said as soon as he discovered the conversation, he immediately contacted his attorney. Okay, let's see here. During the search for Savannah, dogs alerted to a burn pile in an area away from the primary residence. Officers sifted through the material, which included light-colored ash and several items that appeared to be bone fragments and teeth. Okay, so to see what tomorrow. Let me see. Is she going to testify? I don't. Let me see here. So it looks like this is going to be a very fast trial, run through Wednesday, and then, so I'll have to see. It's on, like I said, it's on Law and Crime. Today was a lot of firefighters and the sheriff and stuff like that. I was listening to it. I was trying to transplant pineapples and plant mangoes and all that stuff. So, but I had it on. I was listening to it. Hi, Lady Ashley. How are you? Hi, Alicia Bisso. Hi, Aurora. This is Rebecca Ruud, R-U-U-D. Okay, she is the woman you see there who is accused of first and second degree murder with her birth child, who returned to live on her farm when she was 15, and it didn't end well. And her remains were found in a burn pile. Fragments, bone fragments, some teeth. There was evidence of lye, which Rebecca had a soap business, so she had lye around, but lye will also help decompose a body, and it looked like the body was decomposed and burned several times, and all of that. And then when they found those remains, she ran away and got married to her boyfriend because they wouldn't have to testify against each other, etc., etc. Okay. Hi, Heart Made Wise. Did I say that? I don't even know what I'm saying. So, does anybody have any other questions about the case that I could answer or look up for you if we don't know it? Let me know. How many of you are watching the trial? Let me know. Anyone watching the trial? Who's watching it? Where's Jeanette? I think she's watching him. I think Scooter was watching it. I think Deb on the Move. You told me you were watching it, Deb on the Move? The bio mother is, she was 39 in 2017. Is the new boyfriend husband being looked at? You mean well, he was charged. Are you taught? But then, like someone said, he has some information that he was able to provide. I just got to put my watch on the charger here and my phone, so I'm listening. Well, I'm not listening. I'm looking at the chat. You're watching it, Kevin Leonard? Okay. Hold on. I'm putting this. I have to put this on the charger. But I'm gonna get a seltzer too because I would like to drink something. Okay. Hang on. Oh no. Alright. Alright. I'm coming, just in case you wanted to get a drink. Get a drink right now. I'm right there. Okay, so thanks, Danielle. I like that view of the trial. So you think that? That'll be good. We can talk about that later. Okay, so what do you think about the trial? Sassy, are you watching it? You saw bits and pieces. Well, I was listening to it as I was doing work. Like I said, I had a lot of transplanting to do. I heard some of the firefighters that came on. And a lot of talk about, did you know you were going to a brush fire? Did you think you were going to a structure fire? Did you see Savannah? No, they were told she took a shower. She was laying down. She didn't have clothes on. And then that they executed the search warrant. And now Mel Raz says autistic children are known to like looking into the fire. That's what the mother said. And that she was, yeah, I know you're watching, Danielle. Thank you for your insights that you texted me. I appreciate that. And that's why the child jumped in the fire. There was a lot of coughing, right? A lot of coughing in the courtroom. You think the trial is going really fast. It's a bench trial, right? The judge is going to decide. Tammy, you could send that to me and I can send it to Kevin. Because I've got some other stuff to send to Kevin if you want to send it to me. I can send it to Kevin. Okay, let me see now. Yeah, but a child is not going to, yeah, they might like looking into a fire. They're going to jump into a fire and then it's yeah, okay, that's why you hear that happening so much, right? And then they're missing, and then their charred remains are found. Sassy, you're not watching? Well, you better hurry up because it's supposed to be done on Wednesday. It's a bench trial, and the judge is going to decide. So it's going to be very quick. Yeah, send it to me, and I'll send it out to Kevin. I've got some other stuff here to send to him. Okay. Your son has... I used to watch his car wheels for hours turning. I see. Gotcha. All right. Now, I'm just going to take my vitamins and then we're going to go back into this a little bit deeper, okay? Because some people want to know exactly what's going on with the boyfriend and all of that. She would have jumped right out. Right. Yeah, you're not going to stay there. And it's ridiculous. And what about all the lie? Right, all the lie that was lying around? No pun intended. Okay. Sorry, I'm just taking my vitamins. But you guys can put up your questions, and I am listening. Looking at something and feeling the pain, right, are two different things. Yes. Well, let's put it this way. Her mother also thought a good deterrent, not getting the child help if she did make a self-harm, gesture and cut her arm, but that if she put alcohol and salt and rubbed it in twice a day, never letting it heal, that would be a good deterrent instead of recognizing the depression, recognizing that she was taken away from her adoptive home, the home she knew. She already went through the divorce of her adoptive parents and dealing with all that, going out to this farm in Missouri. And then, what's all about that in Missouri? She's then made to roll in hog pens. Hold on. To take baths in muddy ponds. Okay. Then she doesn't even have the outlet to go to school because Rebecca's going to homeschool her, but yet doesn't know anything about kids on the spectrum and any kind of curriculum for them. Is just trying to force her to conform to what she thinks she should do. And obviously, she didn't have the experience, she didn't have the capabilities to be doing that. When her own adoptive mother, who sounded like she probably had, she definitely had a lot more time with this child, but she didn't have the resources. She needed a break, in other words, and sends a child away. Just horrible. Yeah, salt in the wounds. And where was she going to go? Then the adoptive mother's saying that her parents went there and offered to take her home, and Savannah said, no, I want to stay. The adoptive mother is also saying that she, is being vilified for several things that happened. So why would she, it almost seems like common sense. Like, why would she give her up to the birth mother who couldn't handle her and she can't handle her because she's on a farm and she just thinks, oh, it's going to be wonderful? Hi, Jenny D1. The mother, which mother? The birth mother or the adoptive mother is not giving her her medication on a regular basis? Yeah, send me the baby, and no worry of me trying to keep that because I don't like avatar babies. Sorry, Kevin, I won't keep your baby. I'm not a fan of the avatar babies. I will send that right on to Kevin. I've got some other stuff to send. So let me look. Okay, let's see what Rebecca, you guys wanted to talk about the husband. You saw that. Picture just a minute ago. So let me see here. So this case took 5 years to get where we are right now. is this? Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get to something here, and there's... Okay, so you're now... Let me see. All right, I think we've got... Hang on. Okay, what is this about? Okay, so here's something. Hang on. State of Missouri. District Defender. Okay, hold on. This is about that box, that recording device. Attorney-client privilege is a fundamental. This is all about that recording. Yeah. Okay, so we found that. Hang on. Let's see what else we can find here. Search. Okay. Let me see what I'm getting in here. Okay, rude. We're looking for rude Rebecca. Rebecca, here we go. So let's see what we have here for her. Criminal infractions, case number. Let's see what this is. Okay. Just trying to get the certificate of compliance. Court. Okay. Let's try this. So, unanimous ruling from the Missouri Supreme Court said that when Rebecca gave the recording to her husband, Pete, she forfeited attorney-client privilege, and therefore the recording can be used as evidence, reversing a ruling by the Greene County Judge Calvin Holden, who's presiding over the case, and said the recording was privileged. It's a major piece of evidence, and we are very pleased the Supreme Court found that the privilege had been waived, which is what we had felt all along, but had to wait a long time before we finally got an answer. No one in the state besides police have listened to the recording. None of us have listened to it because there is a possibility it would have been considered a confidential attorney-client communication. So I don't know what the content of the recording is, but I'm interested in learning what's on there and how it might affect the state, how the state is going to present its evidence in the case. Now, both Rebecca and Pete, her then husband, could face life in prison for the murder of Savannah if convicted. According to court documents, the charred bone fragments of Savannah's body were discovered on Rebecca Rood's property August 2017. It was August 4th. Then the abuse was, started to be reported by different people, and there we are. And then she was arrested. She was going on a Greyhound. He was going somewhere else. Okay, here's another thing. So that John Garabrandt, the prosecuting attorney, had a complaint for search warrant to authorize the search for evidence of a crime. And this was state of Missouri, county of Ozark. Chemicals, including but not limited to lye, that may be used to break down human tissue and or accelerate the cremation of a human body may be present on real property located in Ozark County, Missouri, owned and possessed by Rebecca Rood, specifically located and described as 81 acres more or less, being partially wooded with some open field areas located in the west half of southwest quarter of Section 9, Township 22, North Range 16 West. On site is a residence consisting of an 1,850 square foot house, square foot metal building, and a pull-behind camper trailer. That's where Savannah, I believe, had to stay. That's the camper trailer. The property has other vacant outbuilding structures, inoperative vehicles, and campers. The occupant's primary vehicle is a 2003 Chevrolet truck with a license plate, blah, blah, blah. The basis of this information, I believe, contained in the attached affidavits of witnesses, the facts concerning the said matter, which affidavits are made prior. Okay, so that was to check for those chemicals. And it says that on July 20th, 2017, at approximately 10:45, the Ozark. Here, let me move this over here so you can read along if you'd like to read along. And when you hear the little ding, turn the page. The Ozark County Sheriff's Office received a call for Rebecca Rood at 4118 County Road 905, Theodosia, Missouri, regarding a missing 16-year-old female with autism. The female was identified as Savannah Leckie. Savannah was described as having a high-functioning autism. Rood is the biological mother of Savannah. Rood said she last saw Savannah at 11 p.m. on the previous day, July 19th, 2017. When she awoke at about 8 a.m. on July 20th, Savannah could not be found. On Thursday, August 3rd, the Circuit Court of Ozark County issued a search warrant to search property owned by Rebecca Rood and described as the west half of the southwest quarter of Section 9, Township 22 North, Range 16W, located in Ozark County. The search warrant specifically authorized the search for the person of Savannah Leckie and or human remains. On Friday, August 4th, 2017, officers from the Ozark County Sheriff's Office and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, accompanied by canines trained in the detection of human remains searched the property described in the search warrant. During the course of the search, in an area located away from the primary residence, one of the canines alerted on a burn pile. The burn pile appeared to have been partially covered by fresh leaves, branches, and other debris. A second dog was brought in to the burn pile, and it also alerted. The burn pile was photographed, and the fresh debris was removed. A patch of light-colored ash was found under the debris. Over the course of several hours, the ash was removed and sifted, and during this process, several objects that appeared to be bone fragments were removed and seized as evidence. Among the fragments were 2 intact bones that appeared to be a human finger and a large bone that appeared to be vertebrae, and several items that looked like teeth. A number of the items were photographed and seized, and on August 7th, Deputy Curtis Dobbs contacted Mr. Mark Berry, a consulting forensic anthropologist with the Boone County, Missouri Medical Examiner's Office, and upon his review of the photographs, Mr. Berry told Deputy Dobbs that the suspected finger bones were almost certainly human remains. Deputy Dobbs also contacted Dr. Eric Wilson, DDS, a forensic odontologist from Cole Camp, Missouri. Images of the recovered teeth were sent to Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson told Deputy Dobbs that the images were consistent with human teeth. In a telephone conversation on August 7, 2017, Mr. Berry told me that the pieces of bone and teeth were difficult to recognize when mixed with other burn debris. Mr. Berry is of the opinion that another search aided by experts trained in anthropology will result in the recovery of additional bone fragments and teeth. Mr. Berry believes that the recovery of this material may aid in the identification of the person's remains and possibly the manner of death. On Tuesday, August 8, 2017, the Circuit Court of Ozark County issued a second search warrant to search property owned by Rebecca Rood and described as the west half of the southwest quarter of Section 9, Township 22 North, Range 16 West, located in Ozark County. The search warrant specifically authorized the search for the person of Savannah Leckie and or human remains. And later on August 8th, Deputy Curtis Dobbs and Sheriff Darren Reed delivered the remains discovered on Friday, August 8th, 2017, to Dr. Marlene Feist-Harnell in Springfield, Missouri. Dr. Feist-Harnell is a dentist. She is also trained and experienced in forensic anthropology and odontology. Dr. Feist-Harnell is confirmed that Dr. Wilson and Mr. Berry's opinions regarding the bones and teeth being human remains, and she commented that the bones and teeth had been subjected to very high temperatures. She also noted that the deterioration of the bones and teeth was advanced. When Sheriff Reed mentioned that lye soap was made on the property where the bones were found, Dr. Feist-Harnell said, "That will do it." During the previous search of Rebecca Rood's property, several containers, including drums and plastic buckets containing chemicals and lard, were seen inside a metal structure Rudd resides in. Based on this new information, it is probable evidence of a crime that may exist within these containers. Okay, so that was about that now. Okay. Now let's see. September 20th of 2017, that's when Robert Peete Jr. was arrested for the murder of 16-year-old Savannah Leckie. Okay, let's look over here now. So a volunteer firefighter testified that he saw a burn on Rebecca Rude's arm when he responded to a call about a brush fire. The witness said Rebecca told him the burn came from an accident when she was moving chainsaws away from the fire. Rebecca claims that her biological daughter threw herself into the fire. She was to blame. Now, there's also the trial about Christian Ferguson, and we talked about that last night. So that's going on as well. Rebecca's defense attorneys say that Savannah was continuously let down by her adoptive family. So we'll see what happens tomorrow in this. Like I said, this is going to be very quick. And, the judge is going to be making the decision. It's a bench trial. So hopefully you guys will follow it and we can talk about it tomorrow. You can't get over the fire thing. That she thinks that. What do you think? Here, I'll put up a poll. Okay, I'm putting up a poll. And let's see what you think. All right. It's all right. Tomorrow should be day 2. Yes, tomorrow's day 2. Oh, we're not going to do that thing with Jeanette, are we? I can't. I can't go through that. Hi, Melraz. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mike, are you watching this trial? Mike, are you watching? Come on, Mike. 88% say she's going to be found guilty. Can't believe I was transplanting things today, and it was look, I was going to rain. And it wasn't that hot to go swimming, and then I was going to ride my bike, and then it looked like it was going to rain. Then Luke had to go to the eye doctor. Then Luke had to come home from the eye doctor. We had to get eye drops. We had to go to the pharmacy with my thyroid medication. Had to pick up that. Bones. And before you know it, it's crazy. Maybe I'll ride early tomorrow. Maybe I'll listen. You know what I could do? That's a good idea. If I ride early, I can listen to the trial while I ride. That's good. Kill 2 birds, 1 stone. That's a horrible thing. I don't want to kill any birds. You guys don't even know about the bird I was going to rescue yesterday when I was driving my bike. Driving. What am I saying? Driving. It's going to be a quick trial. They said it'll be Wednesday. I think that's going to be it. It's going to be very quick, very good. You're watching it, Tammy? All right, let's see what the poll says. And the poll says 88% yes. We'll see if we're right. I think she'll be found guilty. I think so. Is there anything else going on? So, what did we learn on the show tonight, Carolyn? I hope she's not at the cemetery. Scooter? No. I just saw Scooter. Relax. I just saw Scooter. Okay. We learned that Gabby Petito's mother is fed up. Okay, she wants justice for her daughter. It's a narcissist's version. That confession, it's not believable. Stop it, it's stupid. Right, done. Okay, our thoughts and prayers, of course, are with her, and we'll see if the other documents will come out. Mike says this was very new to me, but very sad. Thank you. Yeah, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. It's, you know, a young life taken too soon, a horrible way, horrible abusive treatment, and people have to do better. Mental health treatment, resources, all that stuff. But you can't even blame the pandemic or anything for this, because this took place prior to that. So you can't blame any of that. Heart Made Wise says she is an absolute heartless monster. As a mother of 2 children on the spectrum, this hits in a very personal way. The way everyone failed Savannah, everyone. This has me in tears. Oh, I imagine it, yes. It is, she was failed all over. And then to have this woman trying to homeschool her, come on. How the poor girl suffered, yes. Terrifically. And if that mother's version of the story is true and she was, you know, burned a lot, that is just, ugh. Okay, so I mean, does anybody, okay, so we were getting what we learned on the show tonight. And then after that, we did some of the true crime headlines. It's hot. It's not that hot here, Tammy. So, and then this case. So now you have the background on this case. If you haven't watched it, and then you can try to catch up on the trial tomorrow. It is going to be a fast one, but we'll discuss it, and then I'll see about that Christian Ferguson case. It's in the 50s tonight in Massachusetts. There was a train wreck that hit a dump truck. Are you talking about, gosh, I just saw that the Amtrak. It's cold in Brazil. I'm sorry to hear that, Alicia. But you like that, Alicia, right? Some cooler temperatures. Christian Ferguson. Oh no, in Washington right now it's actually 93, and that's hot. That would be hot. Some like it hot. And some sweat when the heat is on. That's what I heard. Okay, it's cold over here in Port Elizabeth. Hey Lorraine, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? My friend in South Africa. Dandy, Jimmy got the his toys today. Thank you, and let me know what I owe you if you sent me a PayPal request, darling. Let's see, it says, even the guys on TMZ believe Brian's letter was bogus. I think everybody believes it was bogus. You love summertime? Three killed, 40 injured. It's 8:28 a.m. there. Hold on a minute. I saw that, and I was going to go over that train. So, the Amtrak train carrying at least 243 passengers reportedly derailed in Missouri. The train was traveling from Los Angeles to Chicago, and it collided with a truck in Mendon, resulting in 8 train cars being derailed. Amtrak said 12 crew members were on board at the time. No fatalities have been reported, but the governor, Mike Parsons, said it is a possibility. Let's hope not. And let me see, I was watching it this minute. Terrible, terrible. Okay, so hopefully it remains that there's no fatalities. Let's hope so. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night because it's been nuts. What do I have to do tomorrow? Bunch of stuff, and I don't want to listen to this, and I'll listen to this while I, hopefully if we don't have rain, ride my bike. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. Hi, Super Chat Cat. How are you? Hi, Carol Plant. But you're leaving so fast, Carol Plant. Hi, Gail B. Good to see you. Nicole Griffith. Pamela. Hey there, Pamela. I always get you confused with it. Another Pamela who's like a thrifter person. Mike, 49 dead left in the trailer of a semi. Wait, what is that about LMNW? What are you guys talking about? Mike, I heard about both of those awful events today within a couple of minutes of each other. In the crowded shopping mall, hit by a Russian missile. So I was a crying mess. Oh gosh. All right, well, thank you everybody for being here. I know it was a quick one tonight, but we did go, it was quality over quantity. And you can't always be like the laughing ones. If I get some more scammers to call me, I'll have that. But I'll see, there's probably some other content sometimes we can watch for a laugh after we get done with something, right? All right. You know what we could do really fast? Let's do something really fast so we can end. I think most people, most laugh. Don't go anywhere yet, okay? Because there's always somebody new that hasn't seen this. You know what? Even in my own family. And we'll do the abbreviated highlight reel. Okay. Is this my highlight reel? Yeah. Hang on.
What do you want?
To get the hatchback going, it was crazy. We got it open. She's putting all the bags in. Then Jay Bells gets in the passenger seat, and I open the van door for Lisa to get in, right? But before Lisa gets in, I see, oh God, God, what the hell? What the hell? Oh my gosh!
Why?
Oh my gosh, Jimmy, I thought something was falling on my head.
I'm okay, honey. I was sneaking down the
You
steps.
fell down the steps.
Dad, what
Oh
happened?
my
No,
God.
I'm okay.
Dad, what happened, Dad?
Oh
Sneaking
my
down the steps,
God.
honey, and I slipped.
What happened? Dad fell all the way down the steps. How?
I thought something was.
Daddy, how?
I was sneaking down the steps.
Yeah.
I was being fun.
Wait, what
bottom of the steps?
I know. I was thinking.
Oh my gosh. He fell down the steps. Did you see him coming down over here? Yeah, he's okay.
Honey, they got him.
They do, because there's video over here.
I was going to come down behind you and be funny.
Oh my gosh. You don't understand, Jimmy. I was picturing we still had that big hutch with the top on it, and I thought it was coming down on my head.
What's the big hutch?
That one that was over there, I thought it was over here, and I was like, I heard that falling, and I just thought something was coming down. It was going to hit me on the head.
Daddy, how did you slip down? What way did you slip down, Dad?
I don't know.
Like from house?
Huh?
Like
Yeah, probably.
How did you fall?
Like this?
How did you fall all the way down the stairs like that?
I was coming up behind you there, and then, I don't know.
But how did you
Yeah,
keep
you put it on
falling
the
and
pillow.
falling like that?
Boom!
They said, was he in a red union suit?
Daddy.
Yeah.
We-
The wire stopped all the way at the end of the steps.
That's where I fell. That's where I landed.
Lisa didn't believe me when he got that red union suit for Valentine's Day. I thought it was an earthquake. It scared the crap out of me. Did you see him falling down? Well, why didn't you guys tell me it was Jimmy falling? I thought something was falling on my head. Oh my God. He did like a Clark Griswold. He goes like, I'm okay, I'm okay. It seemed to go on forever, didn't it? That's what scared the hell out of me. That's what scared the hell out. That girl goes, the dad fell. Oh my God, the dad fell. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh my gosh. That'll go on the blooper reel. Right? That'll definitely go on the blooper reel. Right, Melly Mel. But he's laughing like crazy up there. It was so scary because I couldn't see what it was, and it just like kept coming, and I don't know if you heard how loud the noise was, and it kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. I'm thinking like, wait a minute, something is going to fall on my head. I really thought there was the top of that hutch behind me, and it was coming down, and that's why I got up. And then when I got up, I saw him land at the bottom of the stairs, and then he jumped up and said, I'm okay. Okay, that is crazy. You didn't know what it was at first either? It scared the crap out of me. It was like on and on and on and on and on. And so we talked about that union suit in AC more because we went by, they weren't union suits, but they were something like that. So then I said to Lisa, Jimmy got a union suit like that because I saw it at Tractor Supply. It was on clearance. It was red, and it was really cute. I told you guys about this, and then after J Bells went to bed, he came down and showed it to me. Did a little dance, right? Okay. Then that was so Lisa didn't believe me. So she's like, "Did he really get a red union suit?" I said, "Lisa, he got a red union suit. He did." Now everybody knows. The whole world knows Jimmy has a red union suit. You thought it was Luke back door? No. Oh gosh, you backed it up, Sapphire. Not mean spirit. I'm just, oh no, he's laughing like a crazy man upstairs. It's okay. He was like a big red ball rolling down the stairs. Was he rolling? Because I didn't see it. No, it doesn't have footsies. It's a union suit. There's no footsies in it. You just saw a blur out of the corner of your eye as I was staring at the chat. Oh gosh. Oh, thanks, Apple Snapple. We'll have to frame that. A union suit, it's a one piece, you know, like kind of long johns with buttons and stuff. I can't believe he fell down the stairs. Okay. That would be really bad if he died right there. But at least.
See my face?
Oh, let me see. Turn it. Oh yeah, you got like an abrasion kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. Plus, I had a splinter in my hand. It's pushed up in the deeper now.
Oh, gosh, Jimmy, come on. He almost broke this, Lisa.
I'm okay. I'm going to bed now. Me and my union pajamas. I was coming down to be. Yeah, right there.
Eat all of them.
But before Lisa gets in, oh, God! God, what the hell? What the hell? Oh, my gosh! Oh, my gosh, Jimmy! I thought something was falling on my head! Then Jabels gets in the passenger seat, and I open the van door for Lisa to get in, right? But before Lisa gets in, oh, God! God, what the hell? What the hell? Oh, my gosh! Oh my gosh, Jimmy, I thought something was falling on my head. Yeah, helemaal de hoofd, dat is nog bijna zout, helemaal. Zout, helemaal. Ja, dat is een sealer. Ja, ik get a sealer. Would not even the yeah, and at least there's this knife in the sticks or dish. Yeah. Then J Bells gets in the passenger seat and I open the van door for Lisa to get in, right? But before Lisa gets in, I say, oh God! God, what the hell? What the hell? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Jimmy, I thought something was falling on my head! Okay. All right, with that one, good night, guys. I'll let you go with that one.